Thank you very much.
Right now, everything in your life that isn't working, every frustration, every disappointment, every regret, you can leave it all behind. You have the power to start over, to rewrite your story, to step into a version of yourself that you've always known was possible. This isn't about luck. This isn't about waiting for someone to save you. This is about taking complete control of your life and refusing to settle for anything less than your full potential. Every day you live the same way, you reinforce the person you were yesterday, but today you can break free. Today you can decide to rise above every limitation, every mistake, every what if. You can choose to act with purpose, clarity, and determination. The life you've dreamed about isn't a distant fantasy. It's right in front of you, waiting for the person who's ready to take it seriously. If you're willing to make the commitment, to take responsibility, and to act with courage, nothing can stop you. This is your chance to take control of your destiny, to build habits that serve you, and to create a future that reflects your true worth. This is the moment to stop existing and start living. Today is the day to start a new life, and it begins with a decision that changes everything. Part 1. Take full responsibility for where you are. There comes a moment in life when you stop pretending that everything is fine and admit to yourself that you want something different. A new life doesn't start when the calendar changes or when circumstances suddenly improve. It begins the moment you decide that you've had enough of your own excuses. The first step to starting a new life is not luck, not opportunity, but responsibility. The kind that forces you to look in the mirror and say, I am exactly where I am because of the choices I made. That's not an easy truth to face, but it's the foundation of real transformation. Because until you take full ownership of your life, you'll always be waiting for something or someone else to fix it for you. Responsibility doesn't mean blaming yourself for everything that's gone wrong. It means recognizing your power to change what comes next. It means understanding that your decisions, your discipline, and your mindset are the architects of your future. When you take responsibility, you stop living like a victim and start living like a creator. You begin to see that no one is coming to rescue you. Not your boss, not your family, not your government. Your progress is in your hands. And once you embrace that truth, life becomes exciting again because you realize you can shape it any way you want. Every new beginning starts with Anna. If you're not where you want to be financially, emotionally, or spiritually, admit it. If your habits are destroying your potential, face it, because denial is the enemy of progress. People who refuse to confront reality keep spinning in circles, blaming luck or other people for their lack of results. But those who are brutally honest about their mistakes and limitations start building momentum. They stop repeating patterns that keep them stuck. They wake up earlier, think sharper, and act differently. Not because the world changed, but because they did. There's a kind of peace that comes with responsibility. You stop arguing with life and start adjusting to it. You stop waiting for the perfect time and start making use of the time you already have. You stop saying, I can't, and replace it with, I'll find a way. That shift changes everything. It changes how you work, how you treat people, how you spend your money, and how you spend your days. You start thinking in terms of cause and effect. You begin to understand that every result in your life is connected to an earlier action. And if you don't like your results, the answer isn't to complain. It's to change the actions that created them. Most people underestimate how powerful responsibility is. They think freedom means doing whatever they want. But freedom actually comes from discipline. Freedom comes from knowing that your life is under your control. It's the ability to say, I made this happen, whether it's success or failure. Because If you created your problems, that also means you can create solutions. You can reinvent yourself, rebuild your reputation, regain your confidence, and rewrite your story. But none of that begins until you stop blaming others for how things turned out. Taking full responsibility also means accepting that you've wasted time. That's painful to admit, but necessary. Maybe you spent years in the wrong job, the wrong relationship, or surrounded by the wrong influences. Maybe you've let fear and comfort stop you from moving forward. But what matters now is what you do next. The past is a lesson, not a life sentence. You can't change what's behind you, but you can change how you respond to it. The people who transform their lives don't spend time mourning the years they lost. They focus on maximizing the years they have left. They use every mistake as fuel for wisdom. Responsibility makes you grow up in ways comfort never could. When you take ownership of your situation, you start noticing the difference between reasons and excuses. You stop saying, "I don't have time," because you realize time was never the issue. Priority was. You stop saying, "I'm not lucky," because you understand luck favors the prepared. You stop waiting for motivation and start relying on consistency. Life stops being about how you feel and starts being about what you do, regardless of how you feel. That's maturity, and maturity builds character. The moment you accept that no one owes you anything, you free yourself. You stop resenting successful people and start learning from them. You stop feeling jealous and start feeling inspired. You begin to understand that everyone who's built something great went through seasons of struggle, discipline, and loneliness. And instead of seeing challenges as punishments, you see them as training. You begin to ask yourself different questions. Not why is this happening to me? But what is this trying to teach me? Taking responsibility. You can't build a new life with the same thinking that built the old one. You have to stop feeding your mind with doubt, gossip, and negativity. You have to start surrounding yourself with clarity, knowledge, and truth. Because your environment influences your energy, and your energy shapes your decisions. Every choice you make either strengthens your future or weakens it. Every hour you waste either pushes your dream forward or pulls it further away. People often wait for motivation before taking control of their life, but motivation comes after responsibility, not before. The day you decide to take charge, you'll feel something powerful awaken inside you. A sense of purpose. You'll realize that life isn't happening to you, it's responding to you. The moment you start making better choices, life starts opening new doors. It rewards discipline, courage, and effort. Not immediately, but inevitably. If you want to start a new life, begin with this: no excuses, no blame, no waiting. Everything changes the moment you say, "It's on me." That single decision will separate you from the crowd. Because most people would rather stay comfortable in their complaints than take responsibility for their progress. But not you. You can rise higher, go further, and live differently. The power to create a new life is already in your hands. It always has been. All you need now is the courage to use it. Part 2. Decide exactly who you want to become. If you want to start a new life, the first real question you must ask yourself is this: who do you want to become? Not what you want to have, not where you want to go, but who you're willing to turn into. Because life doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what matches who you are. Most people drift through life with no clear identity. They chase after money, recognition, or comfort without ever defining who they truly wish to become on the inside. And that's why they stay stuck, repeating the same patterns year after year. But the moment you decide who you want to become, everything begins to change. Your choices, your habits, your environment, and even the people you attract into your life. Clarity is power. When you know exactly who you want to become, you stop wasting energy on things that don't fit that vision. You stop saying yes to distractions. You stop tolerating behaviors that go against your values. You start aligning your time, your actions, and your thoughts with the person you're trying to build. This kind of clarity gives you direction. You no longer wake up wondering what to do next because every decision is filtered through one question. Does this bring me closer to the person I want to become, or take me further away? That's the kind of focus that separates people who grow from people who stay the same. Think about it. Your life is a reflection of your standards. If your standards are low, your results will be low. But when you raise your standards and define a clear identity, everything starts to shift. You begin to see yourself differently. You start treating yourself with more respect, and you expect more from yourself. You stop playing small just to fit in. You stop apologizing for wanting better. Because the moment you decide who you want to become, you begin to design your life instead of just reacting to it. That's the beginning of real transformation. Deciding who you want to become requires honesty. You have to take a hard look at your weaknesses, your habits, and your fears. You have to confront the parts of you that keep holding you back. The laziness, the procrastination, the anger, the self-doubt. Change doesn't start with pretending those things don't exist. It starts with facing them, understanding them, and deciding that they no longer have control over you. Growth is not about perfection. It's about direction. Every day, you either step toward the person you want to become or away from them. You don't need to know every detail of your future. You just need to define your character. Ask yourself what kind of person deserves the life you dream of. If you want wealth, what kind of person earns and manages money wisely? If you want peace, what kind of person maintains calm under pressure? If you want love, what kind of person gives it freely without fear? When you focus on becoming that person, success starts chasing you. The opportunities, the relationships, the results, all of it starts aligning with the version of yourself you're building. This decision must be personal. Don't try to become what the world says you should be. Don't shape your identity based on trends, opinions, or comparison. Most people live miserable lives because they spend all their energy trying to please others. But the truth is, you can't live a fulfilling life while pretending to be someone you're not. You have to define success for yourself. Maybe it's freedom, maybe it's peace, maybe it's mastery. But whatever it is, make sure it comes from within. Because if you don't choose who you want to become, someone else will choose for you. There's something powerful that happens when you finally commit to a new identity. Your behavior begins to catch up with your decision. You no longer force discipline. It becomes natural. You no longer need external motivation. You're driven by a sense of purpose. You begin to walk differently, think differently, speak differently. Even the people around you can feel the change. They may not understand it, but they can sense it. You become more intentional, more focused, and more alive. That's what happens when you live from vision instead of routine. It's important to remember that deciding who you want to become isn't a one-time event. It's a lifelong process. As you grow, your vision will expand. What once seemed impossible will become your new normal. You'll realize that every season of life requires a new version of you. The person you are today may not be capable of handling the success you're asking for tomorrow. That's why growth must be continuous. You have to keep refining, upgrading, and improving your character to match the next level of your goals. The people who change their lives are the ones who take this seriously. They don't wake up and hope to become better. They plan it. They visualize the kind of person they want to be and make choices that match that image. They control their environment, their routines, and even their conversations to reinforce that identity. They don't wait for motivation. They act as if they already are that person. Because when you start behaving like the person you want to become, life starts responding as if you already are. Every breakthrough begins with identity. If you keep thinking like your old self, you'll keep living your old life. The new life you're asking for requires a new mindset, new habits, and new discipline. You have to stop identifying with your failures and start identifying with your potential. You are not your past. You are your choices from this moment on. So decide today who you want to become. Picture that person vividly. Speak like them, work like them, think like them, and soon enough you'll look back and realize that you've become them. That's how transformation happens. Not overnight, but over time, through daily commitment to your vision. Your new life won't come by chance. It will come by choice. Decide who you want to be and start living like it before anyone else believes it. Because when your vision is strong enough, the world has no choice but to catch up. Part 3. Change your daily routine to match your vision. If you truly want to start a new life, your daily routine must become a reflection of that desire. You can't keep living the same day and expect tomorrow to look any different. The truth is simple. Your routine shapes your reality. Every decision you make, every action you repeat, every hour you spend creates the person you're becoming. Change doesn't start with motivation or excitement. It starts with consistency. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. If your routine doesn't match your vision, then your vision will remain just a dream. Every new life begins with new patterns. You can't expect discipline to appear out of nowhere. It's built through the small things you do daily. The time you wake up, how you spend your mornings, what you feed your mind, the people you allow into your space. These are not small decisions. These are the ingredients that determine your future. If you want a new life, you must stop living on autopilot. Every morning should have a purpose. Every action should serve a direction. Because if you don't design your routine, life will design one for you, and it won't take you anywhere worth going. A person who has a strong vision doesn't waste their mornings scrolling, their afternoons gossiping, or their nights regretting. They understand that time is not just passing, it's building or breaking their destiny. You can't change your life by wishing for it. You change it by managing your time like it matters. What you do between waking up and going to bed tells the story of your future. Successful people are not lucky. They are intentional. They take charge of their schedule. They protect their energy. They don't let distractions pull them away from their mission. The easiest way to start changing your life is to master your mornings. How you start your day determines how you live your day. If you wake up early and begin with purpose, maybe by reading, reflecting, exercising, or working on your craft, you'll feel in control. You'll feel grounded and focused. But if you wake up without a plan, reacting to messages, news, or noise, the world will control you before you even begin. A powerful life begins with a powerful morning. That's where self-respect is built, in those quiet hours when no one's watching, but you're still giving your best. You also have to learn to protect your evenings. Many people destroy tomorrow with the choices they make tonight. They stay up late doing things that don't add value, then wake up tired, unmotivated, and behind. A productive routine isn't about working nonstop, it's about balance. You need rest, reflection, and time to recharge. But your rest must be intentional, not careless. You rest because you've earned it, not because you've given up. A strong routine has structure, not strictness, but direction. You know when to work, when to rest, and when to grow. That rhythm creates progress. Think about your environment too. The people you spend time with, the content you consume, and the places you visit, they either feed your growth or drain it. If you want to live a new life, surround yourself with things that push you forward. Replace noise with learning. Replace complaints with gratitude. Replace laziness with action. You can't hang around the same energy and expect your life to change. Your surroundings must match your goals. Your daily world must represent your desired future. Sometimes people wait for motivation before they change their habits, But that's a mistake. Motivation fades, structure stays. You must build discipline, like muscle, through repetition. You might not feel like waking up early, reading, or working on your goals every day, but that's how change happens. A new life demands effort, and effort becomes automatic when it's built into your routine. You can't depend on emotions to guide your consistency. Discipline must take over when motivation disappears. Your routine should also include moments of stillness, time to think, evaluate, and redirect. Reflection is the part most people skip. They're busy, but they don't grow because they never stop to measure. You should end each day with a few quiet minutes, asking yourself, did my actions today match the person I'm trying to become? That single question, asked daily, can completely change your direction. Because success doesn't come from guessing. It comes from awareness. There's another truth most people ignore. Your routine reveals your values. You can say you value health, but if your schedule doesn't include time for it, you're lying to yourself. You can say you want success, but if you spend more hours entertaining yourself than improving yourself, then your actions tell the real story. A new life begins when your calendar reflects your priorities, not your excuses. If you want better results, you must rearrange your days around what truly matters. You'll notice that once your routine begins to align with your vision, life feels lighter. You'll experience a kind of calm power, not from perfection, but from progress. You'll wake up knowing that you're no longer wasting time. You'll start trusting yourself more. You'll begin to see small wins, a sharper mind, better health, more confidence, new opportunities. These things won't come from luck. They'll come from the quiet discipline of showing up daily. The truth is, you don't change your life in one big moment. You change it in 1,000 small ones. Every time you choose growth over comfort, purpose over distraction, and focus over noise. You start a new life when you master your hours, because hours turn into days, days turn into weeks, and weeks turn into the story of your life. Your future is hidden in your routine, and once you build a routine that matches your vision, no one can stop you from becoming the person you were meant to be. Part 4, let go of the past and forgive yourself. You can't start a new life while holding on to the old one. It's impossible to move forward when your heart is still chained to regret, guilt, and pain. Many people never start over because they're too busy replaying what went wrong. They live in the same mental loop, blaming themselves for what they should have done differently, or holding grudges against those who hurt them. But a new life doesn't begin with a new opportunity. It begins with emotional freedom. You can't step into tomorrow if your energy is trapped in yesterday. The truth is, everyone has made mistakes. Everyone has moments they wish they could erase. But no matter how much you think about them, you can't change what already happened. The only thing you can control is what you do next. Growth begins the moment you stop punishing yourself for being human. You did what you knew back then. You made the choices that matched your understanding at that time. Now that you know better, it's time to do better. That's what forgiveness is, not forgetting, but freeing yourself to grow. You can't build confidence while constantly tearing yourself down for past decisions. You can't expect peace while still carrying emotional baggage from years ago. If you want to change your life, you must accept that pain was a part of your journey, not your identity. You are not your failures, your mistakes, or your past version. You are who you choose to become today. Every person who ever succeeded had a past they had to release. They didn't rise because life was easy. They rose because they stopped letting regret control them. Forgiving yourself isn't weakness, it's strength. It takes courage to look at your past and say, yes, I did that, but I'm not staying there. Some people hold on to guilt because it feels familiar. They think they deserve to suffer for what they did. But pain doesn't fix anything. It only keeps you stuck. Growth requires grace. You have to be gentle enough to learn from your past without being crushed by it. The goal isn't to forget your story, but to own it, understand it, and use it as fuel for your future. Sometimes you also have to forgive others, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Carrying resentment doesn't punish them, it punishes you. Every grudge you hold takes energy away from your goals. You can't build a better life while mentally arguing with ghosts from the past. Forgiveness doesn't mean approval, it means release. You're saying, you no longer control how I feel. I'm taking my power back. The day you stop replaying the pain is the day you start rewriting your story. Starting a new life means you stop identifying with who you used to be. You stop introducing yourself to life as the version that failed, lost, or got hurt. You begin to see yourself as the person who survived, learned, and grew. Every experience, even the painful ones, taught you something. You learned patience, humility, empathy, or strength. Those lessons weren't meant to break you. They were meant to prepare you, but they can only serve you if you stop resenting them. Your past can be your prison or your teacher. The choice is yours. There's a quiet power that comes when you stop trying to rewrite what's already been written. You realize that the best way to heal is to focus on the future you can still create. The energy you waste regretting could be used to rebuild. The time you spend replaying could be used to reprogram your mind. The same effort that keeps you stuck can be redirected to growth. You don't need a new life handed to you. You just need to stop dragging the old one along with you. You'll notice that once you start forgiving yourself, your self-respect grows. You start to speak to yourself differently. You stop calling yourself a failure and start recognizing your resilience. You begin to see that you're not broken, you're becoming, and that shift changes everything. You walk lighter, you breathe easier, you start attracting better because your heart is no longer filled with resentment. A peaceful mind can see opportunities that a bitter mind never notices. Many people hold themselves back because they believe they don't deserve a second chance. But the truth is, you can start over at any moment you choose. A new life isn't given. It's claimed. Every morning is a new page, and you decide what to write on it. You might have wasted years, but you haven't wasted your chance. The door to change never closes. You just have to stop standing in front of the old one. To start a new life, you must stop reliving the one you're trying to leave behind. You owe it to yourself to move forward without shame. You owe it to your future to stop giving your past more power than it deserves. You can't heal while you're still holding on to the things that hurt you. You can't rise while you're carrying old versions of yourself that no longer belong to who you're becoming. Forgive yourself for not knowing what you know now. Forgive yourself for staying too long, for trusting too easily, for trying and failing. Forgive others for not being who you needed them to be. Forgive life for being unfair at times. Because once you do, you'll realize something beautiful. The past can't hurt you anymore unless you invite it in. And when you stop inviting it, you finally create space for the person you were always meant to become. That's when a new life truly begins. When you stop running from your past and start walking toward your purpose. When you replace guilt with gratitude. When you stop saying, "Why me?" and start saying, "Thank you for the lessons." Your past prepared you for this moment. It's not your burden anymore. It's your foundation. So close that chapter. Not with anger, but with wisdom. The rest of your life is waiting, and it deserves the version of you who's finally free. Part 5, surround yourself with people who inspire growth. The people around you are shaping your destiny more than you think. Every conversation you have, every environment you step into, and every energy you entertain, all of it molds your mindset. That's why if you truly want to start a new life, you have to audit your circle. You have to look closely at who's speaking into your life and what they're feeding your mind with. Because if you hang around people who complain, who gossip, who settle for average, you'll unconsciously lower your own standards just to fit in. But when you surround yourself with people who are driven, who hold themselves accountable, who think in terms of possibilities instead of problems, you rise without even trying. Jim Rohn once said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." That's not a motivational quote, it's a law of life. Your standards, your ambitions, your self-belief, they mirror the people you allow closest to you. So if you spend your days around people who don't believe in discipline, guess what happens? You start justifying your laziness. If you spend your nights talking to people who have no goals, you start to forget yours. But if you place yourself around individuals who are constantly improving, who challenge your excuses, who push you to grow, your life automatically upgrades. Sometimes growth means walking away from comfort. It means distancing yourself from people you love, but who keep you small. It means outgrowing the group chat, saying no to aimless nights, and protecting your energy like it's sacred, because it is. The company you keep either fuels your purpose or kills it slowly. And you can't build a new life while surrounding yourself with people committed to the old version of you. Here's something powerful. The right people don't just inspire you, they challenge you. They don't let you settle for mediocrity. They ask questions that make you think. They hold you accountable when you start drifting. And most importantly, they celebrate your progress, not your comfort. When you find people like that, hold on tight. They are rare. But don't just look for such people. Become one. Be the kind of friend who motivates others to dream bigger, to stay disciplined, to think deeply. Because when you live that way, you attract others who do the same. Iron sharpens iron, and greatness multiplies in the right environment. So, if you want to start a new life, begin by looking around you. Who's sitting at your table? Who's speaking into your spirit? Who's influencing your vision? You don't need a crowd, you need clarity. You need a few people who make you uncomfortable in the best way possible. Because when you walk with the wise, your future starts to shine a little brighter every day. Your environment is not just where you live, it's what you become. Protect it, curate it, build it with intention. Because your new life begins not just with new habits, but with new people who make those habits natural. Part 6. Feed your mind with positive and practical knowledge. Your mind is the most powerful tool you'll ever own. It's the command center of your entire life. Every decision you make, every emotion you feel, every habit you build, all begins with what you feed your mind. And the truth is, most people treat their minds worse than they treat their phones. They guard their phones with passwords, protect them with covers, and charge them every night. But their minds? They let anyone and anything pour garbage into it. If you truly want to start a new life, you must become intentional about what enters your mind. Because whatever you feed your mind, it multiplies. Negative content produces negative emotions. Gossip creates doubt. Toxic news builds fear. But when you fill your mind with wisdom, knowledge, motivation, and spiritual truth, you begin to rise. Your perspective changes. Your energy changes, your actions follow. You start to think like someone who's going somewhere. Jim Rohn said it beautifully. Stand guard at the door of your mind. That means you have to filter what you consume. So, you have to filter what you consume. Don't just scroll endlessly through social media. It's designed to keep you distracted, not developed. Don't spend hours watching people live their dreams while you ignore your own. Choose content that teaches, uplifts, and equips you. Watch videos that help you think sharper, read books that challenge your beliefs, and listen to mentors who've walked the path you want to walk. Because knowledge is power only when it's the right kind of knowledge. But here's something important. It's not just about positive thinking, it's about practical learning. You can fill your head with motivation all day long. But if you're not learning something that improves your skill, mindset, or financial literacy, you'll stay stuck. Positive thinking gives you hope. Practical learning gives you progress. Both are essential. Feed your mind daily like it's a sacred ritual. Wake up and read something that expands your understanding. Even if it's just a few pages. Listen to podcasts while driving or working out. Instead of letting gossip or complaints fill your day, surround yourself with wisdom and growth. Your brain is like a garden. If you don't plant good seeds, weeds will grow automatically. So plant intentionally, and remember this, the information you consume shapes your identity. If you keep watching people who complain, you'll become a complainer. If you constantly listen to people who take responsibility, you'll become responsible. Your input always determines your output. So instead of feeding your fears, feed your faith. Instead of listening to negativity, listen to people who are building something meaningful. When you start filling your mind with positive and practical knowledge, something powerful happens. Your focus sharpens, your attitude strengthens, and your possibilities expand. You begin to think in solutions instead of problems. You stop seeing obstacles as dead ends and start seeing them as lessons. You stop being a victim of your environment and start becoming the architect of your future. So ask yourself daily, what am I feeding my mind today? Because your future self will be the result of your mental diet. Garbage in, garbage out, but wisdom in, greatness out. Be selective with what you watch, read, and listen to. Nourish your thoughts the same way you nourish your body with balance, discipline, and quality. And as you feed your mind with positive and practical knowledge every single day, you'll notice something subtle but powerful. Peace replaces anxiety, clarity replaces confusion, and confidence replaces doubt. That's the transformation of a well-fed mind. It doesn't happen overnight, but with time, you'll look back and realize your life changed the moment your mindset did. Part 7. Set small, clear goals and build momentum. If you want to start a new life, you have to understand the power of small steps. People often think big change comes from giant leaps, but it doesn't. Big change comes from small, consistent actions that build momentum over time. The secret to progress is not in vague dreams or wishes. It's in setting clear, specific goals and then taking action every single day toward them. Clarity is your first weapon. Without it, energy is wasted, time is lost, and motivation fades quickly. When you decide exactly what you want, your mind starts working to make it happen. You know where to focus, which decisions matter, and which distractions to ignore. You don't drift anymore. You move with purpose. That's why clarity in your goals is non-negotiable. Write them down, speak them aloud, make them tangible in your mind. The more precise your goals are, the easier it is to act on them. Start with small goals because small wins create confidence. If you try to overhaul everything at once, it will overwhelm you and you'll quit. Instead, break everything down into manageable steps. If your goal is to get healthy, start by walking 15 minutes every day. If your goal is to learn a new skill, commit to 20 minutes of focused practice daily. When you achieve these small goals, your brain gets a reward. It feels accomplishment, and accomplishment builds momentum. Momentum is like energy. Once you start moving forward, it gets easier to keep going, to take bigger actions, and to reach bigger goals. Momentum is a critical force that most people underestimate. Consistently take small steps. One day you realize that the person you were yesterday and the person you are today are completely different. This happens silently but powerfully. That's why even small daily actions are far more valuable than occasional bursts of effort. Progress is built on repetition, consistency, and focus. Another important element is simplicity. Your goals must be clear and achievable. Don't make them so complicated that they confuse you. Clear goals make decision-making easy. You don't waste time wondering what to do. You know your next step. Small, clear goals remove hesitation. Every action becomes meaningful. Every decision becomes aligned with your purpose. That clarity leads to confidence because when you know your path, fear cannot control you. Building momentum also requires tracking your progress. Keep a journal or a simple checklist. Celebrate each small win. Momentum grows when you see evidence of progress, and don't ignore the psychological boost this gives. Each small victory reinforces your ability to take control of your life. It reminds you that you are capable. It builds belief. Belief drives action, and action produces results. Small goals also protect you from burnout. Big, overwhelming goals can exhaust your mind and spirit. Small goals keep the process enjoyable. They provide continuous motivation because each step is achievable and measurable. And as each step builds upon the last, you begin to feel unstoppable. You'll notice your energy rising, your focus sharpening, and your determination intensifying. That is the power of momentum. One more key is to take immediate action. Goals are worthless on paper if they are not acted upon. Even if it's a tiny step, take it now. Do not wait for the perfect time, the perfect resources, or the perfect plan. Perfection is the enemy of progress. Action creates feedback, and feedback refines your next steps. Every small action compounds into bigger opportunities, better habits, and a stronger sense of personal power. Finally, understand that setbacks are part of the process. You will miss some goals, make mistakes, and face challenges. But small goals and momentum make it easier to recover. Because progress is continuous, a setback does not derail your entire journey. You get up, refocus, and keep moving forward. Momentum carries you through difficulties and keeps you aligned with your bigger vision. The lesson here is clear. Don't wait for a miracle or a massive opportunity. Start today. Define small, precise goals. Take deliberate action. Track your progress. Celebrate your wins. Build momentum. And with each step, your confidence grows, your capabilities expand, and your life starts moving in a new direction. Momentum is the secret force that transforms intention into reality. Use it wisely, and you will see change happen faster than you ever imagined. Small, clear goals are not just about achievement. They are about building identity. They teach you discipline, responsibility, and persistence. They turn your dreams into concrete steps, and eventually, those steps transform your life. Momentum is the bridge between your current self and the person you want to become. Every small goal you accomplish strengthens that bridge. Every action you take moves you closer to a life of purpose, freedom, and fulfillment. When you set small, clear goals and build momentum, you are no longer waiting for life to change. You are making life change because of the choices you make, the actions you take, and the consistency you maintain. This is the method to start a new life, one small goal at a time, one deliberate action at a time. And before long, you will look back and see a completely transformed version of yourself. But a life that you intentionally designed and built, step by step. Part 8, replace old habits with productive ones. Changing your life begins with understanding that habits define who you are. Every action you repeat shapes your future. Your current life is the result of what you consistently do, even the small, everyday things you might not notice. If your habits are not taking you toward the life you want, they are holding you back. The only way to create meaningful change is to replace old, unproductive habits with new, productive ones that support your vision and goals. The first step is awareness. You have to honestly observe your behaviors and routines. Notice what actions are helping you grow and which ones are keeping you stuck. Many people fail because they continue habits out of comfort, habit, or fear of change. If you are spending hours scrolling on your phone, avoiding important tasks, or procrastinating, these habits are silently shaping your results. You cannot change what you do not see. Awareness gives you the power to choose differently. Next, identify productive habits that align with your goals. Productivity is not just about doing more, it's about doing the right things consistently. For example, if your goal is to get healthier, habits like exercising, eating balanced meals, and getting adequate sleep replace old patterns of inactivity and poor nutrition. If your goal is financial freedom, habits like saving a portion of your income, tracking your spending, and learning about money replace carelessness and instant gratification. Every productive habit you establish moves you closer to the life you want. Breaking old habits is difficult because they are comfortable. Comfort often feels safe, even if it is harmful. The key is substitution, not just elimination. You cannot simply stop doing something and expect lasting change. You must replace it with a better habit that fulfills the same need in a positive way. For instance, if stress makes you eat junk food, replace that with a habit of going for a short walk or practicing deep breathing. If boredom makes you waste time on distractions, replace it with a habit of learning a new skill or reading for growth. Substitution creates balance, satisfaction, and progress simultaneously. Consistency is critical. Habits are built over time, not in a day. Repetition forms the neural pathways in your brain that make new behaviors automatic. Start small. Focus on one habit at a time, rather than overwhelming yourself with too many changes at once. Small, consistent actions compound into massive results over time. The habit of saving $10 daily seems insignificant at first, but over months and years, it grows into financial security. The habit of reading 10 pages daily seems minor, but it accumulates into knowledge that can change your perspective and your opportunities. Environment plays a huge role in shaping habits. If you want to replace old habits, you have to adjust your surroundings to support your goals. Remove temptations and distractions that pull you back into old patterns. Surround yourself with reminders of the habits you want to establish. For example, keep healthy food visible, place your workout gear where you can see it, or keep books and learning materials within reach. Your environment either reinforces old habits or encourages new ones. Make it work in your favor. Accountability accelerates the process. Sharing your habit goals with someone you trust or tracking them in a journal creates responsibility. When you see progress recorded, it motivates you to continue. When you miss a day, accountability helps you get back on track without guilt or discouragement. Tracking your habits and reviewing them regularly shows you patterns, progress, and areas that need adjustment. Accountability turns intention into action and strengthens your resolve. Patience is essential. Habits do not change overnight. You will face challenges, slip-ups, and setbacks. Instead of giving up, view these moments as opportunities to learn. Ask yourself why you slipped and how to prevent it next time. Focus on progress, not perfection. Each day that you consciously choose productive habits, you reinforce the change and make it more permanent. Change is a gradual process, and your commitment to it will determine the depth of transformation. Visualize the person you want to become and the habits that person would have. Imagine how they spend their mornings, handle challenges, and make decisions. Align your actions today with that vision. Your habits are the bridge between your present self and the person you aspire to be. Every small productive action strengthens that bridge, making the new life not just a possibility, but a certainty. Finally, understand that habits are the backbone of your results. Money, relationships, health, and happiness all flow from the patterns you maintain daily. By replacing old limiting habits with productive, growth-oriented ones, you take control of your destiny. You stop reacting to life and start designing it intentionally. You move from being a product of your environment to being the creator of your future. Every choice you make today in your habits builds the foundation for a stronger, better life tomorrow. Changing your habits is not easy, but it is simple. Awareness, substitution, consistency, environment, accountability, patience, and vision are the keys. Focus on these, take deliberate action every day, and watch how slowly but surely your old life transforms into a new life filled with purpose, freedom, and achievement. Productive habits are not just routines. They are the engine of your personal evolution. And through them, you can finally start living the life you truly desire. Part 9, stay consistent even when no one notices. Consistency is the invisible force that separates those who achieve from those who only dream. Real change doesn't happen in a moment of excitement or when others are watching. It happens quietly in the small decisions you make every single day, often when no one else sees. The challenge is that human nature craves immediate recognition. We want applause, attention, or validation for every effort. But success, real lasting success, doesn't work that way. It builds quietly, steadily, in the background, long before anyone acknowledges it. The key to staying consistent is understanding that your efforts are for yourself, not for others. When you wake up early to read, exercise, or work on your craft, the world may not notice. When you push through a tough day at work, manage your finances carefully, or practice a skill for hours, no one might acknowledge it. That's okay. Your progress is not determined by applause. It is determined by your commitment to your own growth. You are investing in a future version of yourself, someone stronger, wiser, and more capable. Each day that you follow through, even without recognition, compounds into remarkable results over time. Consistency thrives on routine. A routine is a framework that supports repeated action without relying on motivation alone. Motivation comes and goes, but a solid routine keeps you moving forward even when you don't feel like it. Create daily rituals that align with your goals, writing for Stairs Minutes, reviewing finances, exercising, reading, or practicing a skill. Over time, these rituals become second nature. They are the invisible scaffolding that holds your growth, the structure that transforms small, repeated actions into massive change. Patience is an essential part of consistency. Progress is often invisible in the short term. You may work tirelessly on building a new skill, improving your health, or growing your business, and it might feel like nothing is happening. This is normal. The results are accumulating behind the scenes. Think of every effort as planting seeds. Water them consistently, care for them daily, and trust that growth is happening even when it is not yet visible. Those who give up too soon never experience the harvest that comes to those who persist quietly. Accountability can strengthen consistency, but it should not be your only motivation. Relying solely on recognition from others will make your efforts fragile. Instead, develop a sense of internal responsibility. Your word to yourself matters more than anyone else's opinion. Keep track of your actions and review your progress regularly. A personal journal, habit tracker, or progress chart can serve as a private record of your commitment. This allows you to see your consistency in action and gives you confidence to keep going even when discipline is what sustains consistency when passion wanes. Passion alone is unreliable. You might feel excited about a new project, health plan, or learning goal for a few days or weeks, but inevitably that feeling fades. Discipline carries you through the moments when excitement is gone. It is your ability to do what needs to be done regardless of mood, energy, or circumstance. Discipline turns consistency from a choice into a habit. And habits are the foundation of lasting achievement. Focus on the process, not the immediate outcome. Many people quit because they are too attached to quick results. They expect instant recognition, immediate profits, or immediate transformation. And when it doesn't happen, they give up. Real growth comes from trusting the process and consistently putting in the work. Every small step, every repeated action, and every day of persistence builds momentum. Over time, this momentum transforms effort into skill, knowledge into mastery, and persistence into achievement. Resilience is also critical. Life will throw obstacles, distractions, and setbacks in your path. Some days you will feel exhausted, discouraged, or frustrated. Some days you may feel that your efforts are invisible and meaningless. Staying consistent requires the ability to rise again, to recommit after setbacks, and to keep moving forward no matter the circumstances. Resilience ensures that your consistency is not broken by temporary failures or disappointments. Remember that consistency builds trust, first with yourself. Each time you follow through on a commitment, no matter how small, you reinforce your belief in your own reliability and strength. Over time, this trust grows, making you capable of taking on bigger challenges and pursuing larger goals. People notice consistency eventually, but the real reward is the personal confidence and competence it builds within you. You become someone who can be relied upon, someone who can tackle challenges, and someone who is prepared when opportunities finally appear. Your actions may go unnoticed for weeks, months, or even years. But each day you persist, each time you choose to do the right thing when no one is watching, you are building a future that will be undeniable. The impact of consistent effort is cumulative. Small improvements count. And the person you become after years of quiet persistence is far greater than anyone could imagine from the outside. Stay committed, remain patient, and trust the process. Do not chase applause. Do not seek validation. Focus on showing up, doing the work, and following through. Your consistency will eventually pay off in ways you cannot predict. By staying steady and true to your goals, you create a life that others will notice. Not because you demanded recognition, but because your results speak volumes. Consistency is not about being perfect. It is about being persistent. It is about choosing the path of effort, even when the world doesn't see it. Each day that you commit, even in silence, you are strengthening your future, shaping your character, and building the life you want. When no one is watching, that is when your real growth happens. Every effort matters. Every day counts. Every choice you make to stay consistent brings you one step closer to the life you deserve. Part 10. Celebrate progress and keep evolving every day. Every step you take toward improving yourself matters more than you realize. When you pause to acknowledge your progress, it's not about congratulating yourself for being better than anyone else. It's about recognizing that you are better than you were yesterday. Each small victory, finishing a task you put off, practicing a skill consistently, or even choosing discipline over convenience, adds up over time. These moments, though they may seem insignificant in isolation, are the building blocks of the life you are designing. Celebrate your progress because it reinforces the belief that change is possible. It reminds you that effort produces results and that your actions are not wasted. Every time you acknowledge a success, no matter how minor, you're training your mind to focus on growth instead of regret, on possibility instead of limitation. This habit of reflection strengthens your confidence and keeps you motivated to continue. At the same time, never stop evolving. Growth is not a one-time achievement. It is a continuous journey. When you celebrate progress, use it as a springboard to push yourself further. Ask what you can do tomorrow that moves you even closer to your goals. What skill can you improve? What knowledge can you gain? What habit can you replace to become a stronger version of yourself? The key is to combine recognition with action. Recognize your progress and then commit to doing even more. Life is constantly changing, and the challenges you face today may not be the same as those tomorrow. By celebrating every success and focusing on daily evolution, you create a mindset that is resilient, adaptable, and determined. You learn to see every obstacle as an opportunity to grow, and every achievement as a stepping stone to something greater. Your momentum builds when you consistently acknowledge progress and use it to fuel further action. Remember, evolution isn't about speed, it's about direction. Each day, every step, every decision shapes the trajectory of your life. Celebrate the milestones you reach, but never become complacent. Keep setting higher standards, keep improving your skills, and keep expanding your knowledge. This combination of recognition and relentless forward motion ensures that your personal growth compounds over time. The journey to a new life, to real success, is not defined by moments of applause or sudden breakthroughs. It is built quietly, day by day, decision by decision, habit by habit. Every step you take to improve yourself, every small effort you make when no one is watching, compounds into the person you are becoming. Success is the result of patience, discipline, and relentless consistency. Remember, you are the one responsible for your life. Your growth, your skills, your mindset, and your actions determine the opportunities that come your way. Don't wait for recognition or approval. Focus on showing up, doing the work, and committing to your own progress. The life you want is shaped by what you choose to do consistently. Even when it seems invisible, celebrate your small wins, learn from your setbacks, and continue moving forward. Every day is a chance to align your actions with your vision. Every choice you make matters. The life you imagine is waiting for you, but it will only come if you put in the effort, stay disciplined, and trust your future is not built by luck or chance. It is built by consistent, determined action. Step into each day with purpose, stay committed when no one is watching, and embrace the journey of growth. The person you become through this process will be unstoppable, capable of achieving more than you ever thought possible. The power to create your new life is in your hands. Take it, use it, and never stop moving forward.